and I was thinking maybe we could spice up our D&D games and add a little bit of Christmas spirit into our one-shots or our games by thinking of some Christmas-inspired magical items. That's something I thought about after in my last game I had to come up with a legendary item in my campaign, and I thought of a weird variation of the bag of holding, which is going to be our first item. So, this item I thought of is called the bag. There we go. The bag of gifting. The bag of gifting. It is a legendary. It is a legendary item. There is only one in the world. And this bag has the properties of both a bag of holding and a it shares the features or some qualities of a bag of holding and a cornucopia. So you can put as many items as you want into the bag of gifting. It's almost a kind of unlimited bag of holding in that sense that it can hold as much as you want. You can put as many items as you want into the bag of gifting. There we go. Once you've put an item into the bag of gifting, it will remember it forever, and you can pull it out of the bag of gifting as you would a bag of holding. Gifting there. So once an item my ink. Is put in the bag of gifting. The bag will remember it. So you can pull out the item of the bag of gifting. You can pull out any item. Inside the bag of holding. Of gifting. But here is where it becomes more like a cornucopia. The bag of gifting can also create an infinity of not clones, but copies. Of any item it remembers. Now, there are a few limitations. Anything that made this item unique is not copied. So the copies lose any distinguishing features, making them unique. Distinguishing feature, making them unique. The copies are also non-magicals. Copies are also non-magical. And the copies cannot act as material component for spells. That's basically the bag of gifting, which you probably guessed is inspired by Santa Claus's big bag of gifts, which he seems to be able to pull from infinitely. Well, this is basically a Dungeons and Dragons item that does just that. The few limitations are it cannot create anything new. It has to be something you had once and that you put into the the bag before, so it can only create copies. It cannot create anything original. It can also, well, I tried to put some boundaries so it doesn't just break all the D&D system. So basically, it cannot act as material component, cannot be something unique that you duplicate like a piece of art. Like if you try to duplicate, I don't know, a painting, it would probably become something. It would lose any signature from the artist. It would become a painting. That seems much less original. It would still retain like the beauty and the aesthetically pleasing element, but it wouldn't be that exact painting anymore. And also they're not magical, so you cannot just copy items, magical items, and make it so everyone has a legendary item. Like if you found a legendary sword, well, you cannot just copy the sword and make it so everyone has it. It would become, you could give everyone swords, but just regular swords. I would still probably not put this into my D&D game before the higher levels, because in terms of economics, you're breaking the whole economy. Money does not become anything, any kind of obstacle that's caused by money just disappeared, because they can create and sell just whatever they like as long as they find it. So your players could like find a diamond and make it a bunch of times. They could not use it directly for spells, but they could just resell a bunch of diamonds, make a lot of money, and then buy whatever they need. So, you know, if your game is really dependent on the economy and finding money in any shape or form, this item should not be used in your campaign. But if you're at already a high level and money is not really a problem in your game, if your players already have a lot of money and they can already throw it at a problem, well, this probably won't break your game too much. It will allow them to make more money. But if it's not a problem already, well, why not give them something they can use to spread good and just give toys to children. If you have one player character that is a crafter and they make little, I don't know, a wood crafter, and they make little toys, and now they can make toys for everyone in the kingdom. That can be really cute. You can also give it to a nice and friendly NPC, your own Santa Claus. That could be nice. I think it's an interesting idea. I was really proud of what I came up with when I thought of this idea. So yeah, that is the bag of gifting. Now, the next one is also associated to Santa Claus. This one is the sleigh of flight. There we go, sleigh of flight, let's call it that. So this one, you probably see a little bit where I'm going with this one. It's a legendary item. Also, there is just one of these existing. So this one is very standard. So this is the sleigh of light is basically just a big sleigh. So it's a vehicle. Here, the sleigh of light. Is a land vehicle. Adapted for snowy terrain. There we go. Here's the particularity. The sleigh cannot just fly. It has a single condition. If the sleigh of flight is pulled by 9 animals of the same species. Doesn't have to be a reindeer, but they all have to be the same species. The animals there. The animals and the sleigh gain a flight speed equal to the animals base speed. And it's pretty much as simple as that. The sleigh of flight can accommodate four creatures of medium size. Or oops, that looks like off. Or two creature actually I'm gonna say or smaller there, or two creatures of large size. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. And I do believe that's everything we need for the sleigh of light. Oh, actually, there's one thing. The animals must be willing. The animals must willingly pull the sleigh of flight. So this one is much less broken, I think, than the bag of gifting. Already the bag of gifting, it can't really break a game, I think. Break the economy especially, but the sleigh of flight, if you're capable of finding 9 animals, and any animals, that's the bit of a loophole that can be exploited. But if you can find 9 animals of the same species that are willing to pull your sleigh, I think you deserve to fly at that point. Like, hey, you've put in the effort. You deserve to fly. Wow. Apparently. Oh. I think it drowned. Oops. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, but if you find 9 animals of the same species, you can somehow convince them to pull your sleigh, or they've been trained to. Like if you found, I don't know, sleigh dogs or something like that, and you bought 9 of them, hey, I say at that point you could have gone with any other kind of flying vehicles. So, why not? I don't think it's that broken. I think if you have a Christmassy session in your game and your players find the sleigh, they can keep it. I don't think there's too much of a problem with that. Now, of course, I didn't mention what kind of animals could pull it, any kind. So they could go and say like, oh, well, would insects work? And yeah, insects would work. On the other hand, they could ask, well, would a whale work? And technically, I mean, it would. And the whales could fly, but I don't know how long they would survive in the air anyway. So, I don't know. But I don't think it's any broken. But I'm looking for someone to prove me wrong. So if you put the sleigh of flight in your game, please let me know, and let me know how it went, because I'm very curious. Okay. Now, I have one last idea of an item that could be incorporated into a Christmassy session. This one is the candy cane. And as the name suggests, it's just a candy cane, but it's an actual cane made of candy, and it's a weapon. So that's what I'm thinking about. Just bear with me. So this one would be just uncommon. And whatever minions your Santa Claus or whatever character you want in your Christmassy session to be, their minions would have the candy canes. So they would have these canes that they use to walk around, and so it's uncommon because you don't find it a lot, but there's plenty of them when you know where to look. And this would deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning damage. This would deal 1d6 damage, and on a hit, the candy cane slows the target target's movement speed by 5 feet for 1 round. This effect is cumulative. I had a little bit of a problem with my recording, but this is basically the whole item. I just find this idea funny because, like, again, it always melts and becomes sticky because of the sugar, and I thought, well, why not make that the theme of a weapon that the minions of a Christmas one-shot would have, that they can slow you down because you become too sticky when they attack you. So it's a pretty simple effect, but I think it fits well into a narrative. It gives a little bit of an edge, makes it a more special weapon than just something that would be completely aesthetics, like saying, oh, it looks like a candy cane but does nothing more than just a club. Well, that's a little bit boring in my opinion, but this has a nice little effect, and maybe you can combo that with things that would force you to move, possibly. So if you get slowed down, if your players are slowed down, well, it becomes harder for them to complete a task or something like that. If you include some kind of chase scene in your session, well, maybe that chase becomes really difficult because you have a few minions that stay behind and slow down the player characters with their candy canes, and now your player characters have to find a way to catch up with someone that maybe stole something or has an item of some importance. So I find this really funny. I think it fits very well in the theme. And with these 3 items we thought of, the bag of gifting, the sleigh of light, and the candy cane, I think we have some great items to really flavor a Christmas one-shot into something very memorable. I would love to if you let me know what you think of these items, if you use them or if you're just inspired by them. Please let me know in the comments. Also let me know how it turns out in your game. I would really love to know if I inspired anyone with these ideas. And on that note, I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you next time.